Hi everyone, it's Nishti here, specialist dietitian for children and parents, and let's talk about cows milk protein allergy, and let's focus on the different formulas, extensively hydrolyzed formula and amino acid formulas. And I'll also show you some slides that I've done just to help you, guide you. You may be here because you have a baby with cows milk protein allergy or a child that hasn't outgrown their allergy. So I hope this video will be useful for you. So my name is Nishti. I'm a specialist dietitian for children and parents, and I'm very passionate about bringing help and support to parents who have children with cows milk protein allergy, dairy allergy. I think it's, well, I know, and we all know, that it's the most common food allergy in the world, and it affects so many kids in so many various ways. And I've done videos about that, which you can refer to or put some underneath this video. And often these kids, excuse me, often these kids would need a specialized formula. If you're breastfeeding, then mom tends to go dairy-free. If that's not working and we don't know what's going on and you want to combi feed, and it's still these specialized formulas that dietitian prescribe, we prescribe them. So it's not just a doctor. And actually, I think dietitians, we know a lot more about all these milks because it's obviously the sole nutrition that babies have. So we specialize in these things. So we have extensively hydrolyzed formulas and amino acid formulas. Now, I want to show you some slides that might work to just give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So if you look here, cow's milk protein is cow's milk formula is made from intact protein, so whole cow's milk protein. So that's what this image here on the left is supposed to show. And it can be very difficult for children to digest this massive protein. And if you think about it, it really makes sense that they can't tolerate it, because animal proteins are a lot larger, meant for a growing calf that grows a lot quicker than humans. So that's why so many children react to this whole protein here on the left. Now, then you have formulas that you can buy in the supermarket called partially hydrolyzed formulas, like you have comfort milk. Sometimes you find that parents will try comfort milk and it actually helps to some degree. 2 to 3 weeks time, usually it helps. And that's because the protein has been slightly more broken down, but not a lot, but just partially, as the word implies. Then you have these specialized formulas, extensively hydrolyzed formulas, more broken down protein. So they're still made from cow's milk, but the protein has been broken down a little bit more, or a lot more, as this picture here is supposed to show. And then you have very broken down protein into what's called amino acids. And that's what this image here. So you have these individual building blocks. And that's why you find that a lot of kids who have severe allergies, I'll go through the list now to show when do we use amino acid formulas. When do we use this formula right here, which is for children who are really struggling with cow's milk? Well, when do we use that? Let me show you that. So obviously, if you've tried the extensively hydrolyzed formula, as this abbreviation is supposed to show, and it's not worked, then sometimes when I worked in the NHS, we would try a different extensively hydrolyzed formula. And sometimes that would work because all of them are different. Because obviously amino acid formulas are expensive. So we try, if we can, to see how the extensively hydrolyzed formulas are working. Now that I'm in private practice, I sort of just do what, I don't think about budget, I think about what's the best thing for the child. And I don't really do the let's swap to another extensively hydrolyzed formula, because it just puts baby and parent under so much stress. So we don't want that. So that's the number one reason to why we would swap over to an amino acid formula. Failure to thrive or poor growth is another one. And then we have multiple food allergies. Obviously, if your child has multiple food allergies, you must go over to an amino acid formula. It's totally, completely free from cow's milk, and it's hypoallergenic, which means it's better tolerated for those with allergies. Now, some children with non-IgE mediated cow's milk protein allergy. Now, I have done videos about this. I'll put them down below so you can have a look. Some kids, because we can put children on this spectrum, right? That some have mildish non-IgE mediated symptoms and some have more severe symptoms. So, for example, you might find that I can just hear my window cleaner. I think that's my window cleaner. You have people that have blood in the stools, for example, and not just colic and reflux. They have blood in the stools, colic, constipation. They have so many symptoms. And that's what we say, okay, they have more severe type of non-IgE mediated cow's milk protein allergy. Well, then you may also want to swap to an amino acid formula straight away. You see, it's very much up to clinical judgment of the person that you are working with. Severe eczema, now that's my favorite. I don't know, I continue to see that children with eczema are still swapped over to an extensively hydrolyzed formula. I don't understand. We must change them over to an amino acid formula. Children with eczema, I believe, and I say it like this: children with eczema have a very low threshold to dairy, very low tolerance level to dairy. We cannot put them on extensively hydrolyzed formulas, which are still made from cow's milk, change them straight over to an amino acid formula. And that's how I work. I'm very strict about that because there's no time to faff around. Eczema is horrible, and if we can do something about it, let's do it. Then we have eosinophilic esophagitis, which is inflammation of the esophagus, quite awful, severe condition. Food protein-induced enterocolitis syndrome called FIES, which again affected GI tract or gastrointestinal tract, and it's awful. Children who have that really struggle with foods, and so again, you would change them straight over to an amino acid formula. Now, if you're breastfeeding and you've gone dairy-free and you want to combi feed and you're tired of breastfeeding, then I swap parents or the children straight over to an amino acid formula, because if the baby's reacting through the milk from what you're consuming, it shows or it indicates that they have a very low threshold, very low tolerance to dairy. Yeah, so low tolerance to dairy means that we need to be a bit more mindful, a bit more sensitive about what we give our children. And then obviously anaphylaxis. So these are 9 reasons why we would swap straight over to an amino acid formula. And the list is long, as you can see, and it's not really followed, to be honest. I think a lot of doctors, a lot of GPs deal with children with suspected cow's milk protein allergy. And it's hard, GPs can't know everything, right? So there are guidelines out there, but I think GPs have a lot on their plate. And I personally think that if kids were just being referred to the dietitian straight away, we could sort it out, because we are able to diagnose and treat cow's milk protein allergy, and we are able to prescribe the correct formula as well if need be. So I hope that was useful. So you've learned about the difference between extensively hydrolyzed and amino acid formulas, and when we prescribe amino acid formulas. And let me just show you this image again, because I think it just makes sense that the protein here is intact. The whole protein is just massive. It's a massive protein, and it's hard to digest for babies. Whereas if we broke it down into little bits, little tiny bits like here, amino acids, then baby's happy, and so is parent, and so is the healthcare professional. So let me stop sharing that. So I hope that was useful. Now, some of the amino acid formulas out there include Neocate, LCP, and Cineo with prebiotics in. Then you have Pure Amino, and then you have Alpha Amino. Then you have the new one from which company? I can't remember, but it's called L-Care. So you have lots of them out there. And yeah. Okay, everyone, if you have any questions, post them down below. Please like or share this video. And if you want a one-to-one with me, I offer online help and support to parents. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.